No clue where that was going. All right. Should be able to see me. I hope. Maybe. Possibly. Passably. Bet it was the Kardashians. Ayo! What's up, everybody? I am shaving tomorrow. So this is the final beard. So I think Monday's video I shot, pre-roll. Hey, delicious blue feet. Big Red Tower, Caffeine Thug, Joe McCarthy. Sorry, I'm trying to run through all these names on here. Yeah, so Monday's video I'll have a beard, but in real time I will not have a beard. Tony, what's up, buddy? I was just getting ready to text you, actually, Tony, and then I forgot what I was going to text you about. You sound real quiet compared to the guitar. Well, isn't that the way it should be? If we're just being honest here. Check. Hold on. My mic probably got bumped. Check. Hello. I do have this guitar pretty dang loud. I just felt like playing loud. Should be better now, though. Going for the ZZ Top beard. I know, right? No, this was just the No Shave November beard. So tomorrow would be the final day of it. I don't know how people do it, man. I can't stand it. Everyone says I look like David Gilmour whenever I grow my patchy beard out. I mainly just have a mustache with like the aftermath of a beard. Voice match is better now? Okay. Let me know if there's like some weird out of phase, out of sync thing happening here between the audio. I don't want anybody to think I'm speeding up my audio. S2 Custom 24 as my first electric. Dude, Brian, that's a fantastic first electric. Far better than what I started on. Usually grow beards on accident. I was just kind of like abusing this thing. I should probably tune it up. I was jamming to a Kenny Wayne Shepherd song. Man, Kenny Wayne Shepherd's last album. Sorry, and we'll get going on the topic here in a second if you're watching the replay. Later, I'll explain what the title of this live stream is about. But Kenny Wayne Shepherd's latest album, The Traveler, I think? Man, is it good. It has this one song called I Want You. It's so good, man. You got to get out on some Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Rig sounding nice. Yeah, so I'd be curious what you guys think. And like I said, I promise I'll dive into the topic, what I titled this live stream here in just a second. But just let me know what you think of the tone here. I'm going to mute the mic. So this is a new patch that I made, basically inspired from this guitar. I wanted something that had a little bit more of that kind of like Nuno-y, like woody tone that he gets. That's just what this guitar, it had that Eddie kind of Nuno bounce to it, kind of like the Cali does. And it's, I just want to see what you guys think about it. So here's the direct audio tone. So there's kind of the tone in a gist. So you guys can let me know. It'll take a minute. Hey, do you like fish sticks? You know what? I honestly don't remember the last time I had fish sticks, if I'm being honest. Tone, I like it. Nice. Nice peppy rock live. Thank you, Joe. No, that is a where's it at? That is a Dan Electro 59. So it's basically like what Paige used. This is a silver one. So this is one that Dan Electro, they were really nice. I became really good friends with Steve over there, and they did this limited run of these, and Steve gave me that one. So I thought that was super, super nice. He knows how big of a EVH nut, not EVH, Jimmy Page nut I am. So he asked if he could send me one of those. I'm like, oh, dude, I'd be honored. That's incredibly nice. You're in the beginner rock and roll course? Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for checking it out. If anybody wants to, the other guitar courses are on sale till Sunday. This will be my solo plug of the whole thing. But that link should be in the description. If not, then I'd messed up. But it should be there if anybody wants that 80% off deal. Anyway, so the whole point of this live stream, this is actually something I might make a separate video about this. I don't know. But, everyone's kind of obsessed about tone and all these different things. And I was like, you know what is the tone factor that no one really talks about? Like in a lot of videos I hear, we talk about pedals, we talk about strings, pickups, the wood the guitar is made out of, the tubes, all these different things. I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, one of the biggest like tone killers is the room that you're in. You can have all these great things, but this is really to me where soundproofing, just trying to cut down on some reflections and different things like that. Having a rug under your amp is something I really like. I really don't like an amp on the floor, or at least on like wood floor. I might be the only one who thinks that, but I always felt like it changed my tone a lot. And I liked having a rug under the front of my amp cabinet. Loving the heart out. Thank you very much. So that was what it was about. You guys can tell me if you've had similar experiences with that stuff. But I always found the room would like make or break your tone. Because like I said, it's easy to kind of dial something in whenever you have a controlled environment. But it's, you get into a different room or, a different situation. And the room completely dictates what your tone sounds like. Does it sound good? Hello. Are you still getting the classic S with S's configured, or was this Final Friedman S? Oh, this is the Final Friedman. So those watching at home, that was my silent tone killer section. And you got me to turn it down. That's also the second tone killer. Better smaller room or larger room? I prefer it just depends. Like this room is pretty small, but I have a lot of like deadening happening here. Like I said, if you look when I'm playing through the cab, I'm not playing through the cab right now, but I have my rug pulled over in front of both of my cabs because I like that, the way the sound bounces off the floor. I don't know. Like I said, even though a cabinet's very directional, I still feel like when the sound comes out, it shoots out everywhere. And I think one of the biggest things that people don't think about, which this is something that I haven't done myself, but I can hear it, and I always can tell I need to do it, is the ceiling in your room. A lot of times when I'm playing or I'm talking in a video, I can hear my voice hit the ceiling and bounce back down to me. I'm like, God, I need to get like a cloud up there to catch that stuff. So I think that's like one of the biggest tone killers is if you're having a hard time dialing in a tone that's just not sounding right. It's too reverby is a huge thing. A lot of time it's the room that you're in. You're gigging the room. Yeah, the room is so crucial. Dude, dominating the F chord progression. I start at 20 BPM now. Dominating the F chord progression. Guess it depends on what progression you're doing. If you're just trying to get used to using an F chord, you know what you could do is do like an F major, C, G, like A minor. Just get like a progression that is like very close to each other. Like it doesn't have to be like a tough progression. If you see what I did, I played the F chord, which I'll be honest, 90% of the time, I like this F better. So what is that? What does E to F mean? So it's a major 7. Is that right? What is? Yeah. I like to use that sound a lot. Hey, Jason. And I'm just going to C major. So you see how I'm just kind of bouncing my fingers up? One important thing that a lot of people don't do, I saw when I would get students who had kind of like learned some stuff on their own, a lot of people learn the G chord this way, which is fine. But you also want to know how to play a G chord like this. I call it the bluegrass way, because that's how my dad taught me how to play a G chord, play bluegrass. Boom, connections. But like learn how to play a G chord with your ring, middle, and pinky finger. That way you can decide which one you're gonna use in which situation. You know, that was a huge thing for me. My wrist pain is my tone killer. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hello, everyone. But yeah, someone was asking. This is my final Friedman. I have another Friedman here right now, actually. That's not mine. That I want to do a video about soon. Well, I've done the video. I just need to like edit it. How do they record live sound outside? It was just watching Joe Satriani live. Well, that's because they're using in-ears a lot. Like I don't think you can play those big shows without in-ears. Maybe, I mean, I guess they did it at some point. But I know my buddy Sam Colson, who I just did the video with, in one of his videos, he was talking about, you know, like the sound that you hear on the stage. There's like a millisecond delay, you know, in the theater, because the way it's bouncing around. But there's a delay happening, so you have to use in-ear monitors, otherwise it's just like, you know, impossible to do it. So I don't really know how they did it like back in the day without in-ears, and I guess they just had wedges turned really loud. Way better myself. Heartbreaker. How to level up my game. I feel I'm not getting better. I'm trying to use a metronome, but even if I get the right time, it does not sound good. Well, a lot of it is how are you using a metronome? Is another thing I found a lot of people struggled with, because there's a lot of different ways to use a metronome. I'm trying to find my metronome app here. 165 of you guys. Wow, thank you so much. So like I said, if you're using a metronome, that's too fast for what I want to do. I'm not warmed up enough to play that fast. You know, take like 90 BPM for a second. There's a lot of different ways that you can play over 90 BPM, and this is what I would work with people. And I'd be like, you know, you don't want to be with the guitar player who can just play slow or can just play fast. You want to be able to, you know, I always use the example of the Don't Stop Believing intro that Neil Sean does. Because he gradually is getting faster and louder. It's very dynamic, and I can't remember the actual musical term for it. Key Marcello does it a lot too. I can't remember what it's called. It's some crazy like Italian name or something. But anyways, you want to be able to like play at in between too. You want to be able to go from slow, medium to fast, not just slow to fast. So like if I play this metronome, like there's a lot of different ways you could play. I mean, a lick over, like, and I always tell people start super simple. Hold on. Okay. And the first step is going to be for me to turn this delay off. There we go. Okay. So you can do like. Hopefully you can hear both at the same time. Crescendo. Or. Okay. You know, or even playing like your scale through it. Do different things like play like you know, that stuff is to me really what helps give your hand a different feel and different vibes to what you're playing. So try that kind of stuff too. Like I said, just get used to playing with, like I said, eighth note, quarter note, 16th. If you're John Petrucci, maybe you're rocking 32nd notes, But I just kind of like got to a certain speed, and I was like, okay, that's cool, And I focused on a lot of other stuff. Like nowadays, I'm focusing on a lot of different things. Once you start falling on the steps, just go with it. Just keep falling. Do you have your guitar wired out of phase like Jimmy Page? I don't. What you're probably hearing is this microphone. So unfortunately, I don't have the best live stream setup. If it's something, hey Scott, had a great holiday. Hope everyone had a great holiday. To all my USA homies, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. The out of phasiness you might be hearing is from the mic, like I said. I just do the live streams for fun. So maybe like over time, if I start like really trying to get serious about them, then I might, get lapel mics and all that kind of stuff. But for now, the live streams are always, I just want to hang out with you guys, to be honest, and not worry about having the lighting kit out, and like you can see, everything's put away right now. What is my gain at? My gain is at it's at around like 1 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, like I said, if I mute this, you guys can hear. I'm starting to learn that. Sam was doing that. He had like the best, like it was such a strong harmonic. Can you do a tutorial? I can't find the way Clapton solo from Hyde Park Tasty Solo. I'd have to listen to it. Yeah. How would you dial into the new Boss Katana MT8? Oh, I don't know. I've never played one. I played the original katanas like a year or two ago, I believe. Can you explain how to start improvising? Where to go from there? How to start improvising? Well, one thing you can do to really start improvising, there's a lot of different ways to approach it. But if you had a melody, or not a melody, but like a riff, say my riff was, hold on. Like to me, you start kind of hearing melodies. But a really good thing to start with is, and this is stuff I cover in the Rock and Roll Boot Camp, which some of you guys were asking, and that will probably be available again in January is the plan right now. But one of the big things is really being confident and comfortable where your root notes are. To be honest, that way you know how to strongly end your phrase. Don't worry about chord tones and stuff like that just yet. but just get to where where you're playing on A, know where all your A notes are, and because just ending a phrase strongly, it will like vastly increase your confidence about improvising. Because like I said, even if I'm playing and I'm kind of like flubbing around, I'm like, okay, get to that root note. And that can save me a little bit. So, like I said, if I'm kind of like playing and I start falling, like, so you hear it's like I'm kind of falling out there. It sounds bad because I ended there, but if I know where my root note is, I can kind of save it. Next scale, blue scale, the major scale. What should I learn? Honestly, man, that's like a lifetime of scales to learn. One thing you can do once you get into like the major scale, because once you've learned the major scale, you've also learned the modes. It's kind of like tricking you, basically. Like we just tricked you to eat your vegetables. Because inside of the major scale is the modes themselves. It's just all about understanding the notes that make that mode the mode, basically. So I would just do that and work on infusing them together. So you don't really have to treat them as all separate entities whenever you're playing. Just mash them all together and make a super scale. With the guitar spreading out, kill, sustain, kills. Oh, sorry, I think you guys are talking about something else. Allman Brothers solo tours would be great. Yeah, I was thinking about. I did that video about Paul Kossoff, and I was thinking about doing one about Dwayne Allman, Dickie Betts, Gary Moore, Peter Green. A lot of these guys would probably be. What are the best shredders? Anybody would follow him up with someone like John Sykes. Yeah, those guys are all fantastic. I don't really listen to a lot of like the shredder guys too much anymore, to be honest. Whoa. Macho Man. Ooh, yeah. A shirt that's like 2 sizes too big for me. John McCarthy, are you still looking to pick up? Excuse me. Are you looking to pick up a Jazzmaster? I'm looking to pick up an Ultra Jazzmaster. Oh, dude, those Ultra Jazzmasters were the highlight of that whole Ultra line, the Jazzmaster. I was looking for one, but I am not. I did get a new guitar, which I know when I post the video, people will freak out. You just got this guitar, and I'm like, I did just get this guitar, but it's important to remember that this guitar was ordered back in April, so I know it just got here right now, but there was another guitar, basically like it's my dream guitar essentially. And I was going to get one earlier this year, and meant to answer, yeah, auto video sync is right on. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Bigger Tower. But I couldn't get the dream guitar because I needed to get a new computer. Unfortunately, we had a lot of stuff going on this year. We had the roof, the 2 roofs that we had to take care of. Just, oh my God, just buying the house in general. That was a huge stress fest. But then when we kind of like had recovered from all that stuff, I needed to get a new computer. So I just had to be an adult and pass on the guitar, and we got the computer instead. And then things just kind of worked out, and we found another one. And I'm like, oh my God. And thankfully, Gabby did a good job of talking me into the guitar. Because I had kind of gotten cold feet about it. I'm like, I don't really need that thing. And, I forget having... But the door... Exactly. Look at it. And this is, by all means, the greatest achievement this year. Back order doesn't count because the wait time. Exactly, Rage. But you guys will see on Wednesday. If you follow me on Instagram, I've posted a couple things. If you're on my personal Facebook page, you already know what it is. But good question. Oh shoot, what's a good question? I'm trying to find your question. What's the easiest Led Zeppelin song to learn for a 6-month and new player? Easiest Zeppelin one to learn. I mean, I would think, a Whole Lot of Love would be pretty good. So I'd probably go Whole Lot of Love, and it's such a huge classic. It'd just be really fun to play. Some other good ones would be, what is that song? I forget the name of it. I'm going brain dead. Custard Pie. Yeah, Dazed and Confused is another good one. It's the best rock era for me. 80s. Yeah, 80s is probably my favorite. 70s and 80s for sure. For show. Getting that for show. Black Dog, actually, I think Black Dog's pretty tough. There's that, especially that one turnaround. The timing is really, really weird. What's up, Jackson? That's all. Did I see Braxwell for a second? Or like Custard Pie, Sick Again would be another one. Bring It On Home. That's another tough. I think that one's pretty tough. Maybe that would begin. Really cool, those harmonies in there. If you listen, they're not all playing the same thing. T-Guitar, what's up, brother? What's up, my man? I've watched a ton of your videos. Great content. Do you have any personal experience with the Music Man Majesty? Ordered one and hope it's worth the money. I don't have any personal experience with those. I haven't played a lot of Music Man. I was just talking to the guys at Ernie Ball, and I'm going to be getting some stuff to check out. A lot of you have asked me about checking out Music Man guitars, and I've never been to a place that was a dealer. So I've only ever played a couple. I've played the Steve Morris and the Luke model were the ones that I connected with the most, and that was at a NAMM a few years ago. So I'm looking forward to it. Picked up F1 BB King's signature Lucille. Nice. Veritone Switch has surprised me with the variety it gives. Oh, nice. That's really cool, man. I've never played a Lucille. What was funny is how many people were asking, and this week's Jimmy Page video that I did, can't remember what it was. Anyways, I did this riff, and there were so many people asking, like, what song is that? It's such a cool riff. Do you like Patra? covers. I don't know. I don't know if I've listened to him, to be honest. Guitar had a Music Man amp. Ooh. Some of the, don't say who. Just kind of a major statement about a group like Kiss, then say you have never seen some of the greats and don't say who. What? Sorry, I think I'm misunderstanding that. Spirit in the Sky. Yeah, Spirit in the Sky is such a good riff. What are some of your favorite solos to play? I don't think I can play any of them anymore, to be honest. I'm working on a video for a Warren D. Martini solo that I wanted to do, and I don't know. Like, I don't even think I don't know many like solos note for note. I would always get distracted, you know. I would be like working on something. This happened last night. So Sean Tubbs has a really cool lesson pack that he came out with, and I was working on one of his ideas from it. Oh. I'm trying to remember the lick now. I can't remember exactly what it was. But that's because I started it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then like I instantly kind of like start going off in my own direction with it. That's what it was. That was the lick. It's, you know, it's kind of an out diminished sounding thing. But I always like the way it sounded. But what happened was I was like, oh, I could kind of like adapt that into something I already do. And I was just like, okay. Just like, you know, like I said, you take like a little piece of something from someone like that, like I said, and that was that. And then it's right back into my own thing, but I just really like stuff like that. You know? Play some Mercy Normal Mechanic. I pretty much just play whatever now, to be honest, man. Aaron, do I still do Skype lessons? I do not. No, unfortunately, I stopped all Skype lessons this year. My schedule was just a little bit. It was too divided, you know. There was just no time between YouTube. Like, YouTube pretty much takes up all of my time. And then teaching, and then trying to do like the guitar course thing, because you know the guitar course stuff is interesting, because just from the mindset of it's more of a long-term plan with that kind of stuff, you know, and I just needed to like be able to focus on that. So unfortunately, I had to stop, you know, the private teaching, which, like I said, starting in January, I'm going to be offering a group kind of like live, like private lesson basically that you can join. Right now the plan is to do it once a month, and there will be essentially like almost like tickets available. I don't really know no other way to say it than that. I feel dumb saying it, but basically tickets. And I think we're gonna do like groups of 20 people, so it'll be this format basically just like this. But you'll get tabs and a backing track, and we'll have a topic that we're working on. And essentially, after each section, there'll be like a Q&A period. So it'll probably be like an hour and 15 minutes total. That way it would be like, okay, here's this section that we're working on. Then you guys can ask questions. Here's this section. You guys can ask questions. This section, you guys can ask questions. And it'll just be more for people who want that live interaction. So that's something that'll be starting in January. that bend was not good. Thank you very much, Stefan. Coder you put out months ago really opened me up to the linear wise. Oh, thank you very much, man. Yeah, like I said, that was like I've been a lot of good feedback for that. I'm working on like redoing that stuff, because basically that is part of like a like the mailing list thing, obviously, and I want to rework how that is, because I think the mailing list sends out too many emails, and I don't want it to do that anymore. But I'm working on doing all that stuff. It's just, there's always 1,000 things to do. Great, awesome. 335, yeah, 335 right there. I was just playing it. How long have I been playing guitar? I think like 14 years. It's funny. So this, like I said, this guitar is still pretty new, so I'm still kind of like getting used to it. As odd as that might sound. Sorry, I keep looking away when I'm talking. But my KM Les Paul is not modded. I did replace the tone pots in it, but that's not really a mod necessarily. Just the I'm sorry, I replaced the volume pots. They just weren't working. But no, that thing is 100% original. I just came over here to get something, and then realized it's over here. Woo! Ugh. So like I said, that other Friedman, I'm still breaking it in, still getting used to it. And I haven't played this one recently, and I played it earlier today, and I was just like, oh yeah, yep, this one just feels like home when my hand gets on it. Hip shot bridges. I don't know. I really don't know much about that stuff, I'm afraid. Understanding what you mean when you say things like minor seventh or major third. I don't understand what that stuff means. So those are the scale degrees of what we're talking about relative to the key that we're working out of. So whenever I'm saying like major third or minor seven, everything's based off of, at least what I'm dealing with is based off of your major scale. So if you are looking at your A major scale, what happened? I'm like, where's my volume? So first thing you need to do is know your major scale. So either know it in the 3-note per string version, like what I'm doing right now. I think it makes it easier to kind of like show, or you can do your box pattern. Either one's totally fine, but each one of these notes essentially has a value to it, or more than a name than just 5th fret, 7th fret. So like that one, just to keep it simple, that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So anytime you alter these notes, that is where you get different terms for them for. So like if I say major third, that's just your normal third. Boom. So out of the key of A, if I'm saying major third, like in the arpeggio video I did, that would be your C sharp note against A, if A is your tonal center. But if I drop this down, that is now your minor third. So same thing with 7. So count up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. if I dropped it down, minor 7, flat 7, people were gonna call it different things. I don't know what's the correct, theory term. Hey, stay from Boston. And that's where you have different modes that have different things to them with different meanings. So like you could have, for example, your Mixolydian mode, which is just basically your major scale with a flat 7 in there. That's Mixolydian. Or you could do Lydian, which is going to have a raised fourth. So what that means is like you take your fourth note, literally just move it up a semitone. Here it has a different sound to it. Oh. So that is what we're talking about when we're saying major third, minor 7, whatever it is. And that stuff applies to your chords too. That's really how you can figure out the chords that you're playing. Whenever you're just going through different things. So it's really good stuff to know. Steve, I tuned into your stream for just a second and we left, and I couldn't watch much of it. I saw your brother was over. I wanted to hear you guys jam, but it was right when you guys were you were figuring out there was like static, or like distortion in the audio, so I couldn't stay. So I can't remember who asked that question, but hopefully that answered whoever was asking about the thirds and all that stuff. Best explanation of things, but it's confused. Oh yeah, and a lot of it, of those, it's really weird. Like there's a lot of knowledge inside of that stuff to where the chords themselves the notes have chords associated with them. You'll probably hear people say like major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, stuff like that, and they're referring to your chords. And this is really how you can figure out. Well, that was the wrong one. Jeez. Hold on, let me just play the complete wrong chord for you real quick. But where coming with chord progressions can be really, really fun. Like you can come up with a riff and be like, well, what could I do next? And you don't have to necessarily go to a new chord, but you can know like the different bass notes of something that's happening. So I could be like, maybe that's my riff. And behind all those would be chords, essentially. So like when I go to the C sharp, technically that would be a C sharp minor. So if I'm in key of E, and I'm going to C sharp minor, maybe go to B major, go to A, back to B, and this is your progression, but I don't have to play the full chord. Maybe I'll just add those bass notes over my riff. And so on. Yeah, Bobby's amazing. Blew my speaker in my supersonic. Ooh, that's not a good thing. For those about to rock, how does that go? Down, down. Something like that, right? I can't remember the intro. Yep, definitely don't remember it. Yeah, it kind of sounds like him, doesn't it? Imagine 2 guitars and 1. I'll talking about double neck. Can't imagine. Rob, when you're improvising, are you thinking modally? Kind of, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like I'm thinking of nothing and I'm thinking of everything at the same time. So, luckily I'm really good at thinking of nothing because, well, I've just mastered that. But, yeah, I guess I'm seeing a lot of different stuff whenever I do it. Like I said, I talk about this a lot. A lot of times what I see is I see the scale, I guess, on the fingerboard, and I see a lot of triads. I did a lot of triad practice early on, which, like I said, which later then people told me that it was similar to the cage system, but I've never learned the cage system. I just learned, it was from an Eric Johnson song I learned a long time ago. I remember my instructor, I can't remember what the chord or the way we played it, but it was, he just played something, he's like, oh, it's just a C chord. I'm like, how is that a C chord? And he's like, well, look, it's just these notes. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, so you can stack the, your root, third, and fifth in any order, and that's just the chord. And he's like, yeah, just do whatever you want with it. I'm like, wow, and it kind of set me off on a path of figuring out, like, oh, man, these are all G chords, these are all E chords, all over the place. And whenever I improvise, I see a lot of that stuff. So like if I'm improvising an E, when I'm like right here, like I said, I see all that stuff, but I also see, like right there's a triad. So I'm utilizing the E major triad. There it is again, see? Sorry. I'm just starting to learn triplets. And BM should I start at? If you're doing triplets, I would start slow. It just depends, that's all an individual kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of it is muscle memory, a lot of it is just stuff, or like another thing that I like to do a lot, is I like the whole, idea of bending stuff up a half step, whether the next note is in key or not. I don't really care about that, and that's again more of an Eric Johnson kind of thing where he'll do like, something like that, and I just remember him doing that, and it sounded so cool because it goes out for a second, but it's back in so quickly. Your ear doesn't really it doesn't hurt while you're playing. So I just kind of like applied that into like. All over the place to get that half step kind of like sudden bended. I'm gonna actually go back to my old tone just so I can kind of later I can hear the difference. So this was the new tone that I made. Let me do this real quick. Sorry, this is the selfish moment. This is just for me myself to hear it later. I'm just kind of curious how those two tones stack up to each other. Big picture. I'm a huge AC/DC fan and a huge rock and metal fan. Angus Young and AC/DC have influenced me playing so much. I watched you 2 years, and I'm a huge fan. As Angus influenced me, yes, hugely. Angus, I would say, is one of the most influential guitarists on me. A lot of, I feel like, my pentatonic bending, stuff is Angus. Angus was like I said, hugely. Like any of those like pentatonic licks, that's all Angus for me. Less low end. Yeah, I was curious. It's a lot quieter of a tone too. Yeah, this is the man. Body went away. Okay, cool. Yeah. I was curious how this was done. This tone I like a lot more. It's as a lead tone. So the other one I kind of, like I said, I dialed it in more as like that Nuno-ish kind of tone. And this is more of like my like a lead tone. Like I said, like in a mix, this one sits really well because it should have less body. Braxel, hey, I thought I saw you earlier. All right, now so. How's it? I like a fair amount of mids in my stuff, to be honest. Please show us some Yngwie Malmsteen. I think one of the coolest Yngwie things I ever learned, which everyone teaches it, but is that diminished idea. The way he kind of walks that up. I always thought that was cool. I have yet to find noiseless P90s that sound any good. Like that's kind of like an Yngwie thing. Or if you really want like kind of like a simpler Yngwie lick, he'll take basically that same thing I just played, but he'll just go, and he slides. It's like a 2-string arpeggio. Stefan says, I love Ace Frehley since I'm 8 years old. Ace Frehley is the man. Are you into jazz guitar? I've been listening to a lot of George Benson. George Benson is my favorite jazz guitarist. I like to listen to some of it, but I don't. I'm not good at it. I'm afraid. Not good at much on guitar, so let alone jazz. But hands are not in shred mode tonight, I'm afraid. Chicago Todd, going to see Uli John Roth. Ooh, in March. Some say Yngwie have been influenced by him. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Uli's great player. Love Alice in Chains. Yeah, Jerry's probably one of my favorite riff writers of all time. We got a riff. Not sure where that was going. Down, 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 down. Way. Racking my brain to remember that though. Are you gonna go my way? It does kind of sound like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Way Cool Jr. definitely, predates Are You Gonna Go My Way by, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I actually don't know where he transitions up to for that. Am I going to the Columbus Guitar Show? I've never been to it. Any good? And do they do clinics or anything for the show? No, I'm not going to that one. That one falls a little bit too close to NAMM for me. And I think it's the weekend before NAMM or something like that. And it's getting ready for NAMM. Is too much of a hassle to kind of like have another trip so close to it. Because one of the big things with anytime I travel is I have to have all the, basically I have to have that week's videos done ahead of time. And depending on how long I'll be gone, I need the next week too, So this past year, I've talked about it many times on here, but I made it a big point where I was just like, I'm not traveling anymore unless it's a must. Like NAMM is kind of like a must for me, but outside of that kind of stuff, I'm just really not doing it anymore. Or what happened to your awesome Acacia Blue Strat? It depends on which one you're talking about. There's a Super Strat right here. The other one, Acacia still honestly has it. That's probably more my fault because I still need the different battery for it, and I think they've just been super slammed with orders. The neck got damaged really bad in shipping, so it needs a totally new neck cut for it. And I had asked them to hold off because I was wanting to try something different, and it's just a matter of no time to sit down and figure out exactly what I want, and I don't want to just kind of just be like, yeah, just do whatever, just put something in the guitar, put whatever pickups in there, I don't want to do that. So I'm just like, hey, I'll be out there in January now for NAMM, and I'm staying with them in the same hotel, so we can figure it all out then. But that's where it is. So that's the only reason I haven't used it, and it's not here. Like I said, it needed a different battery pack for the Fishman pickups. It needs a new neck cut for it, and like I said, they've been super busy. And the one thing with a lot of the guitar companies, like Acacia, who go to NAMM, they start preparing for NAMM like way ahead of time. Like they're doing NAMM stuff now because they have to make 20 guitars to take to the NAMM show or however many they take. So it's kind of like there's a small window whenever it's like, hey, we can make this new neck for you. I'm like, well, actually, I'm thinking I want something different for this. So it'll get figured out. Don't worry. It's a great guitar. Our shop to me has ESP Metallica signature models. 5K. Wow. Tried a Gibson Les Paul custom. I feel like not too many people review those Gibsons. No, I have played a couple, but they weren't set up very good, so I don't feel like it's a fair assessment to say too much about it, like I say, because it did not play very well, but it was because it was just cared for pretty awfully. New practice amp from Positive Grid called the Spark. Really cool features that access the app. Oh, nice. I have not heard about that. Oh, you know what? Did Fluff do a video on it? I think I saw something. I'm putting Texas Hot pickups in it, and I listened to Nick Johnson's video here on YouTube, and he made them sound awesome. Yeah. Nick is such a good player. This is my favorite telly of all the tellies. This is one, and man, it just screams, rock and roll. It makes you really dig in when you want to play it. Play some more Rat. How's that go? You're in love. You're in love. These are P90, so you probably can't see it too well because of the lighting. But yeah, just double P90 telly, man. Get them country licks out of here, because this thing's all about the bending rock and roll. Nice, nice, nice. Preston, what's up, buddy? Oh, hold up. Trying to get my hands warmed up again. A huge thank you for the answering my questions tonight. I have to get some sleep. Night shift. Oof. Oh, dude, no problem at all. One last word. Opinion on Harley Benton's. Then off to sleep. Harley Benton's. I think they were. I think they've raised the prices. I've talked about this a couple of other times, but the one that they sent me a while ago, I don't have it anymore. I gave it away to someone who was starting to play guitar, but the one that I got was really nice. I was really impressed when I tried them at Toman, and I thought they were great. You know, they were really affordable. I was like, okay, yeah, in that price range, this is good. I do think that they raised prices on them, and from that point on, I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's if they're still worth that. You know. Do you own any acoustic? I have one acoustic. It's right there. Actually, nope, it's right here. Right there. Beep. It's not very good. It's pretty painful. Yeah, all the Friedman guitars are plecked. And I think that really goes into how well they play. This one, I've worn the frets down on it quite a bit. It's got, you know, they use good frets, but this thing's just had a lot of hours put on it. But yeah, they're all plecked. I think it has something to do with how, you know, they just play so good. I wish I had a wife that says, you need another guitar. Well, you know, Gabby doesn't necessarily ever say, like, you need another guitar. But she is really supportive of, you know, she's also a guitar player, so she knows a lot about them. And, you know, one thing that's really nice, you know, about that is that she really appreciates, like, old guitars and that kind of stuff. And like I said, but she knows a lot about guitars, so she knows if I'm just trying to, you know, make stuff up. Basically, I'm like, oh yeah, it has this and this, and I'm like, I really want a Les Paul custom, a '70s black Les Paul custom. She's like, you don't need that. That's gonna, you know, that's just a double humbucker guitar. You already have a gold top with P90s. You have the K. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But when it's something like truly different, like I said, I just got another guitar. Which is, like I said, which has been my dream guitar for as long as I can remember. Once I kind of really got heavy into guitar and understood about guitars, like this was my dream guitar. One of these from this era, and you know, she was the big driving force behind getting this one. Because, like I said, I was kind of like chickening out on it a little bit, and she was actually the one who technically, like, you know, clicked the buy it button because I wouldn't. So it was pretty funny. You got here, Steve? Thank you, man. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out and rocking out. Mark, no, she said she never wants to be in videos, so it's a shame because she's very good. Where did I grow up? I grew up. I'm from born in South Carolina, and then grew up in Ohio, of course, where I am. But I grew up in a real small town. Well, I went to school in a small town far away from here, but called Shiloh. But I lived and grew up in a place called Greenwich, literally way out in the country, But that's just where I grew up. And the convenience store that I would go to as a kid with my dad, I remember going there and I actually where did I go? Oh, when I went to hang out with Sam Colson, I had to go on the road that goes by that old convenience store. I was like, man, I should stop in there and just kind of get something because it's still in business, all that stuff. And I'm like, man, it would just be cool to kind of like walk in that store again. So I know all the positions of the major scale. Oh wait, do you know all the major scale? Should I? Yeah, of course. If you know all the positions of the major scale, you know all the positions of all the modes, basically. So think of it like this. I'll show you this. Sometimes it depends on how much you know, how well this will click initially. But for example, like if I played G major, just my G major scale, and I played it like this. These would be all the positions of it. If you did 3-note per string, there's different ways to play it, but I'm going to do a 3-note per string version. Okay, so. And here we're at octaves. Oh. So those are all of the positions of a G major scale. I guess I could have done the 2 lower ones as well. But there's all of them. That's all the positions of the major scale. Now, what's really interesting about those shapes is they directly correlate with the different modes. So, for example, it's not as far. A lot of people you'll hear, they won't refer to them as shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, shape 4, kind of like what we do in the pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like box 2, box 3. Well, these are given different names. So, anyways, I was hoping you'd just be, hey, Sam. But basically, so like this one is known as your Ionian. Oh man, someone just super chatted with a sweet looking unicorn. Thank you very much, man. So like I said, this one is known as the Ionian shape. I'm not gonna break down why each shape is called what it is. But the next one is your Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian. I'm sorry, Lydian. Mixed Lydian. Aeolian. And then Locrian. Oh, maybe. So, what's really cool is, now, just because you play that shape doesn't mean that you're playing that mode. Like that's where a huge misconception is about the modal stuff. Because for one, the chords behind it are super important, but also, like if I'm playing these scale shapes over a G progression, and I'm up here, and people associate Phrygian with being very dark sounding. If I'm kind of playing this Phrygian shape. That doesn't sound dark and scary and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, no. It's because right now basically the way I look at it is the chords behind what you're playing transform the fretboard into that mode, even though you know all those positions. So if I was playing something out of B, and I played the same Phrygian shape up here, but what's interesting is it transforms all those shapes that I played. That's all Phrygian now. So even if I played before what was my Ionian shape over this B, it's actually Phrygian. So I could literally play any of those patterns that I played there a minute ago over this, and it's not going to sound happy and major anymore. It's all Phrygian. I could go all the way up here. I just need to, for one, be aware of where my core notes are that make Phrygian Phrygian. So Phrygian has a lot of weird notes in it. So you have your flat 2, minor 3rd, flat 6, and minor 7. So like I said, you just have to really be aware of what's happening when that's happening. If I wanted this whole scale to sound, we'll say, Lydian, you know, for example. Well, where was Lydian out of all of this? Well, Lydian started on a C note. So I need my chords to be some kind of, you know, C that is going to work with this. Okay. Now, anywhere I play the scale, and again, there's more chord theory behind it than anything else, but any of those patterns that I played before, if I play them now, they're going to sound like Lydian. You know, so it's just that kind of stuff. Kind of sounds cool. High gain low watt tube amp under $500? Ooh, I don't know, to be honest. Maybe something from Orange? Or what are those 6505 minis? I don't know if they're still a thing. I'm sure those sound pretty good. Giving me gas for a 335. Sounds awesome. Is it uncomfortable? No, it's super comfortable. I'll play it. It's very... Oh, I think I'm uncomfortable from sitting. It's a very, very comfortable guitar. Excuse me. Let me switch this around. I just don't like plugging a straight jack into this thing. I like having a 90 on it. Only thing is these pickups are really hot, so let me change my tone here a little bit. Because you can hear how, I mean, they're so hot, you know. So let me turn. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you for the mini modal lesson. Cheers. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, I have a theory course that'll probably come out next year sometime. I'm basically like I said, once this current guitar sale ends, then there will be. I'm just taking the rest of the year off. I'm just gonna do YouTube to kind of round out the year through December, and then start go back. I've started working on other courses already, but I'm just gonna kind of like take December off from working on extra projects. I have something I'm doing with Reverb that'll be coming out soon. Actually, about this guitar and some other cool stuff. But other than that, I'm not taking on and doing anything else. I just want to kind of chill a little bit. These are dirty finger pickups. I'll let you hear it with some direct audio. So that sounded cool. I was like, oh, where should that go? I don't know where it should go, but I like it down. Does it have a sort of tapered D neck? The Lucille has a slim C. No, this is definitely more of like a D, for sure. It's if you've played any '70s Gibsons, this is very, very, just period correct for that '70s. It's the same kind of neck. It's different, but it's the same kind of neck that my Les Paul has on it. Get a lot of feedback with the semi. I don't, because I don't play that loud. I still play pretty loud, too loud, loud enough to where Gabby will complain about it, but not as loud as I used to play. I've tried to tame it down a little bit. Chapmans are made in Indonesia by Court and WMIC. They're good guitars. Nice. I haven't played any of the Indonesian ones. I have one of those PRS Paul's guitars. Those are really nice. I think they're made by the same place. My hair's in a knot. Use a looper. Yeah, I don't have my looper pedal here right now. What do I think is the ugliest guitar? I don't know. It's a good question. Nipper string or caged? But I think they both have advantages, I would say learn both. Chicago Todd. Thank you for the super chat, man. He said, I picked up your boot camp course, and if the theory course is anything like it, that I'd buy it. Rock on, RB. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, that's basically I'm working on the part 2 to the rock and roll boot camp. I'm working on an individual theory course and kind of a couple other courses that I think will be really, really good. At least I'm really looking forward to making them. The rock and roll boot camp was definitely a harder one because, like I said, it was the first time I tried to do a course like that, like a more beginner focused. Like I said, not like a roots beginner guitar course by any means, but I just there were a lot of ideas of stuff and even after I released it, I came up with more. I was like, oh, I should have had that in there, this, and I was like, there's just so much. It was like you kind of run the risk of of it being too big, you know, and kind of too overwhelming for someone to look at. And I think it's where it was heading, you know. So hopefully that's not the case with it. But to buy it now, it's 116. Bias amp, nice. Hey Jake, thank you for the super chat, man. Well, part 2 of the bootcamp app. Well, part 2 we're gonna work on venturing into obviously the blues scale is gonna be next, kind of progressing out of the pentatonic scale, but not just by simply adding the blue note. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with that one, and I'm also gonna work on expanding the pentatonic scale, like connecting stuff in different ways and viewing groups of patterns versus just one at a time. So we're gonna go on to that, and then it'll basically we'll transition also into another version of the pentatonic scale, like a dominant version of the pentatonic scale. And then probably at the end is when we're going to start building off of that into your major scale. So my idea for the boot camp is basically a 3-part series is what would round that whole thing out. Oh, Jake, thank you, man. Wondering if I've ever played a ES 137 and what you think of them. I have not, actually. I've never even heard of a 137. So I'm not sure. That must be like a big body guitar, right? Or is that like a small one? I don't really know how the ES system works, but I've never actually played like the real big body Gibsons. Like, what is it, L5 or L6, whatever it is. 7 in the morning. Yeah, it's 1:30 here. Brett said, I'm kind of stuck. I can play a couple scales, open chords, but I just kind of don't know where to go. I've been playing for years, and I just want to go to the next level, I think is what you meant. Should I take lessons in person? Lessons can really help a lot with that stuff, man. It can really, really help. One of the best things you can do with, I'd always ask people, and they would take lessons from me, because, people would be like, oh, I already know the pentatonic scale. I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, then I said, that's actually what I want to start with then. Because I would ask them, I was like, have you played the pentatonic scale like this? And be like, oh, yeah, I do that. I'm like, okay, have you played the pentatonic scale like this? Whatever it would be. And they'd be like, no, I haven't. I'm like, yeah, like, it doesn't even sound pentatonic anymore, does it? Like, it doesn't. And I'm like, yeah, so like let's start with that. Let's build off of a strength that you already have, and let's kind of like, instead of trying to like rebuild, instead of trying to build something new right away, let's kind of just restructure what we already have. And sometimes that was the key to kind of getting to the next level, was not always focusing on what might be a weakness by not knowing it, all the modes or something like that. It would just be like, okay, how can we use what knowledge you already have? Because trust me, as soon as we would do that, it's kind of like the arpeggio lesson I just posted on Friday. If you really look at it, it's a very simple lesson with really what's going on when I'm introducing the idea of the dominant 7 arpeggio inside of your pentatonic scale. Because like I said, if you're already a pentatonic player and you're just looking for something to expand it a little bit, try that. I'm just adding one note. I'm adding your major third, which I've done other videos about. Okay. So like I said, you have that, work on incorporating that note into what you already do. So like in the one lick I did, I don't remember exactly what it was, but oh, I remember what it was. Yep. Something like that. But it's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, you know. And then I'd work on adding that major third everywhere, and I would just try to like include it and add it in there, you know. Like how you're blowing the typical jazz guitar misconceptions of 335. Yeah, it's just so much distortion. What's the guitar I've owned the longest? The Telly we've owned for a long time. My wife's guitar is the longest running. Her Strat is the oldest guitar we have here, as far as like the years that we've owned it. She's owned that since she was a teenager. And then probably the Telly, and then the KM Les Paul, and might be it. Oh, and the Crackle Charbel. Yeah, I've had those for a while. Those guitars are all, you know, I said we've had them for a long time, and I'm never afraid to sell a guitar. There's certain guitars that, like, you know, you connect with, you know, very strongly, and I hate to say it because, you know, I'm not trying to be a jerk to the other guitars, but some guitars you just build that extra 10% of a relationship, and you're like, okay, this guitar can never go anywhere. Which is like the Les Paul. Both Les Pauls were that way for me. This guitar was that way for me. You know, a 335 was something I looked for years. Talked about wanting one, looked for them, played a bunch of them. I'm just like, they don't work for me. Like, you know, it's just, they don't do what I want them to do. And then when I saw this one and read about it, it was a risk to buy it, but it was from Chicago Music Exchange. I'm like, okay, they have a good return policy. And I played it, and I was like, oh, no. How's he do that? So, you know, like this one, I was like, oh, no, this was it. This is the one I was looking for. And the Charbel is that way. And the Friedman Telly is that way, that I was just playing earlier. That one, like I said, and I have, of course, like other guitars, like the newer Friedman and all that kind of stuff. And it just hasn't been here long enough to build that kind of relationship yet. But like the you know, I sold the Kotzen Telecaster. I've sold, you know, many Strats that I've had over the years. I've sold the SG. I sold a lot of stuff, you know, and it's just because I'm like, okay, this is a really good guitar. I love the way it sounds, I love the way it plays, but it doesn't have that little oomph in it for me. So I'm going to sell it to get something else. And that's exactly what I did. You know, I sold the Kotzen, and I have the new guitar, which is right here, which will be revealed on Wednesday. But who knows? Maybe we'll do a little reveal here in a minute. But one thing we're gonna do is, and here, actually, let me switch guitar for a second. And I'll talk about this for a minute. Nope, that guitar is just too big to sit there. So, oh wait, this isn't the guitar I want. What am I doing? This is the guitar I want. I'm gonna talk about it here in a second, but not the one I wanted to play. I'll get the one. Sorry, my brain's all scrambled. So what we decided that I thought would be kind of cool, and I'm kind of giving you guys the heads up, the insight to look for the video that this will be part of, because it's not going to be a separate announced video. So like I said, I just got a new guitar, which is, like I said, is my dream guitar. And you know, we were talking, and Gabby is like, you know, we should like really like give something away, you know, just to be thank you, because and I was like, that's a really good idea. And we were like, okay, maybe we'll buy a guitar to give away, and I was like, you know, it'd be really cool to give away that I think would be cooler than just going and buying, you know, like a $500 guitar, is to give this away. So a lot of you guys know this is the guitar I traded Austin. It's a great Strat. I originally intended to mod this guitar, and I decided not to. Other than I sanded the back of the neck off, and I decided, I'm like, I don't want to mod it because it sounded so good, and it's such a great Strat. And I was like, I think this would mean more if it was, for one, just giving away a really nice guitar. But it's one that, like, I clearly have played a bunch, and I love having it. But I think that it's only right that I try to give something away, you know, as a thank you. Because I'm like, you know, the only reason I get to own any of this stuff is because of you guys. Because, you know, we all work together to build up the YouTube channel and all that. So I was like, you know, I think this would be a guitar that would mean more. And one of the things I want to do, I don't have the back plate on it right now, but I'm going to get a hold of Austin, and I want to send him the back plate. And what I thought would be kind of cool with this one, this did come from Trogley, is I'm going to send him the back plate. I want him to sign the inside of it, and I'm going to sign the inside of it. And then whoever wins it, I want them to sign the inside of the back plate. And just hopefully wherever this guitar ends up, I hope people just keep signing the back of it. Guitar in the moon. But yeah, so basically what you guys want to do is on Wednesday, whenever I post the video revealing the Dream Guitar, at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you guys what you have to do to win it. I don't want it to be one of those giveaways where it's like, oh, like you're going to need to subscribe and comment, basically is what it is. But you'll have to know what to comment about. But I don't want it to be one of those big production giveaways where, you know, the out goal is to see how many new subscribers I can get, and a whole bunch, like an influx of people who are only here to get something free. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a more of a discreet giveaway. Like, obviously people who watch that video are going to be the people who are, you know, probably watching the majority of my videos. And it'll just be more for the subscribers. No, I'll do full, you know, world giveaway. But I will say that if you win it outside of the U.S., then you are in charge of your own import taxes. No. The only time I do U.S. only giveaways is if the company, like if I'm working with Sweetwater and they straight up tell me it has to be U.S. When I typically do a giveaway myself, I do it worldwide because you guys are worldwide. Hold on a second. Need more distortion. So, no, it's going to be open worldwide. Like I said, I'll cover shipping on it. But like I said, if you're in another country, import taxes are on you. You know. But I thought that this would be a guitar that would mean a lot. And it's a cool Strat, you know. It sounds really, really good. It's a great guitar. And you know, I thought it was only fair. You know, I don't need 50 guitars sitting over here. Gee, what chair is that? I don't know what the exact name of it, but I bought it at Staples. Guitar. Played a lot. Yeah, I've used it a lot. You know, it was in a lot of my more recent, like, really popular videos. This guitar was in it. So, like I said, it's just it's a good Strat. You know, it actually has custom shop pickups in it. Like I sanded the neck down on it, so it's really smooth. It just feels so good to play. This ding was done in it beforehand, but yeah, it's just a cool guitar. So, like I said, just be looking for that video on Wednesday. Is when that one should come out. show. Thank you for tuning in, man. Anything wrong with it? Nope, nothing is wrong with it. This is a 100% fully working, fully functional, not a single thing wrong with it. Sounds great. Like I said, the whole reason I didn't mod it is because it sounded so good, and I didn't want to risk messing it up. And luckily, it has rosewood on it, which there's no CITES now, so I can ship it out of the U.S. if someone wins it somewhere else. And it's like I said, it's a legit good guitar. Like it, when we initially, as I smacked it on the desk, when my wife was like, you should give something away, and initially I was like, I'll kind of buy like a more inexpensive guitar to give away. And I was like, what if we gave away like a nice guitar, and not just a nice guitar, but like one of my like personal nice guitars. But, and that's what this is, I thought it would mean more. And like I said, and we also talked and I was just, I was talking to her in the car earlier. I was like, I don't want the giveaway to be some big production thing where someone's going to win it who never watches the channel. She was, and she's like, yeah, it should be basically for like, just for your subscribers, So I'm like, so people who see that video will know what to do. Bad rap everywhere. American Candy? Huh. Probably like super infused with sugar. Yeah, here, I'll play it right now. I initially didn't because I have the 90 right now. But here, let me switch these around. Sorry, that was probably loud. It is a really good guitar. Here, I'll give you some direct audio. I might not be in tune. It is in tune. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's a great guitar, So, like I said, I thought it would mean more if it was a guitar. Like I said, I like the history of it, that it came from Austin. A lot of you guys watch Trogley's channel. Obviously I traded for the guitar, and then it's just kind of the guitar is just continuing its journey. The guy who had it before Austin bought it. I think he said it like a Sam Ash or something, like someone else had it. It was used. So this guitar is just kind of making its rounds. So hopefully whoever gets it, and they'll love on it. And if they ever decide to get rid of it, like I said, the guitar is just going to continue going around, and it's not going anywhere. When will be the video with the giveaway announcement? No, it's gonna be Wednesday. So like I said, you'll have to watch for it, because it will not be. It's not gonna be in the title. I'm not gonna make any posts about the giveaway. It's nothing. It's just going to be at the end of the video. I'm gonna mention it, and I'm gonna say what you need to comment to be entered into the giveaway. And that's it. So there will be no kind of social media. The only people who will literally get a message that this is going to be a giveaway are people who have bought my guitar courses through my guitar school. Those guys will get an email But everyone else, you just have to watch. You have to watch the video and see it. So I feel like it sounds a little like it's over. Is the mic in it? Is it just me? It probably is. I might have the mic on. I'm not sure. Seen the track in every. Don't ever miss any videos. Yeah, so like I said, so just watch for the video Wednesday. Like I said, there will be no inclination. At least right now, I have no intention of having it like a more promoted kind of thing. Yep. Yeah, because a lot of times, I would do giveaways, and it was always with another company, and it would have to have like, oh, you have to like this page, and they promote it, and all this kind of thing. And then someone wins it who like doesn't even play guitar, and I'm like, oh, well, no, I'm sorry, you don't get an American Strat if you don't even like play guitar. Like this needs to go to, like I said, I wanted to go to one of you guys. And if you stick around till the 2-hour mark, which is in 9 minutes, I will reveal the guitar that'll be revealed. This is the revealing of the reveal that will be revealed on Wednesday. Let's give it to them. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, right, Adam. So that's like I said, I'm not gonna mention in the video, in the beginning of the video. It's just gonna be at the end, tucked away at the end of that video. And one of the things that we did, because I've had this other guitar here for like a week now, maybe? Something like that. And, initially we were going to record the unboxing and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, I want the unboxing of it. It's just like, that was our little moment of the whole thing. Like that was us, I didn't want any cameras recording it. I didn't want any of that stuff. I'm like, I just want, we'll just experience it, kind of like be in the moment situation, and that's what we did. And I've really enjoyed getting it. When will we receive the email? Wednesday as well. Yes. If you will receive the email probably at 2 p.m. Eastern when the video goes live. Or whenever I post that video, that's when you'll get the email. So you'll get that on Wednesday, whatever time it is. But like I said, the email will only go out to people who are enrolled in my guitar school. Pretty guitar, yeah. How revealing? Oh, it'll be revealed. Good, excellent. Thank you very much, Michael. Guitar might be a little bit out of tune. Metalhead Hippie, what's up, buddy? Did you just get here, Metalhead? If you did, man, make sure you watch Wednesday's video, dude. And at the end of it, I'm gonna announce I'm giving away this Strat. So show us the PRS. Sure. I was just playing it. PRS time. This guitar is so beefy sounding. This one is. No, I don't really like go to any of the jam nights or anything. Oh. Nope, hands are not warmed up for that yet. What's the deal with the giveaway? Like I said, Wednesday I'll explain it. Just watch at the end of the video, buddy. But basically, the reason why I'm giving the Strat away is I actually got essentially what was my dream guitar. Earlier the year I had a chance to get it, and I had to pass on it because I needed to get the new computer, and I got that instead of the guitar, and another one popped up, and I got it this time, and me and Gabby just kind of talked and thought it was only fair that I got to get this great guitar. Well, I should give one of mine away. So that's the whole kind of premises behind it. Can you play anything from the Crossroads movie? I'm not warmed up to play anything good, but oh. Something like that. All right. Do I know any AC/DC? Yeah, I know a little bit of AC/DC. It is. It's almost so. It's super late, like I said. So in 1 minute, I'll show you guys the guitar because you made it to the end. I'll show you the new guitar and talk about it for a minute, and then that'll be it. And Wednesday will be the official reveal of the guitar. Sorry, I didn't mean 2 a.m. I meant when the stream hits 2 hours. So in about 10 more seconds. Rob, I was thinking about buying a Strat or a PRS. What would you suggest? They're very different. It depends on what you want. I don't think a PRS can sound like a Strat. So if a Strat sound is really what you're after, that more chimey thing, I don't think a PRS will ever sound like that. The splits do sound really good on it. It sounds Strat-ish, but and it's also like if you want a Strat to sound really big, like a wide humbucker sound, without a humbucker, and it's just never gonna sound that way. Although this is the PRS CE and it stays in tune perfect. We are my Central Time Zone guys. All right, it's time for you guys who stuck it out for the review of the Dream Guitar. Apologize, playing has not been the best today. Yeah, the whammy bar on the PRS, man, that guitar stays in tune. Like, they really have a good guitar. Those CEs, man, they're good. They are solid as all get out. But here it is. Oh, man. Whew. A relic guitar case. I'm not sure how well you guys can see the case. Oh, it's heavy. But it has seen some better days. It is time. Now the question is, how long could I draw this out? 5 minutes? 6 minutes? 7 minutes? 8 minutes? 9 minutes? 10 minutes? 10? What if it was 11 minutes? I could probably draw it out for 12 minutes. It's not Ibanez. It's not a Tele. No, there's always been one dream guitar of mine. Very beginning. Other than a 59 Les Paul, which will never happen. So it's not even, that's like a fantasy. That's not even a dream. It's... Oh wait, I think it's my wife. Hold on, let me go help now. And I don't doze off. How about no minutes? This is it. This is it. This is what has been my dream guitar for probably, I've played guitar for 15 years, so I'd say 13 of those 15 years. This has been my dream guitar. Let me put this down before I do this. So, I don't even know if you guys could see it. There it is. Now, anybody who knows anything, just seeing the inside of the case is a giveaway of what this is. And I basically have not stopped playing this thing. Cool light coming out of it. Yes. It is, yeah, it's like if you've seen Wayne's World, this is almost identical to the guitar that's in Wayne's World. So the one in Wayne's World was a 64 Strat. But there was a very particular year of Strat that I wanted. And I wanted a 63 Strat is what I wanted. Mainly because I had heard, which I believe Stevie SRV had a 63 neck on his. I don't know if he had a full 63 Strat. But that is what I had just remember, like, Stevie Ray Vaughan had such a big impact on me early on. And when I found out, I was like, oh, 63 Strat. Like, I wanted a pre-CBS Strat, but I really wanted a 63. And it's actually, what's really interesting about it, James, this is pre-L series. So this is a very early 63. So they had not actually switched over to the L series yet. And you can see the neck is just an old. So the body is a refinish. Cartoon birds now. Oh, Jason, thank you so much, man. But yeah, so this is there's a lot of things that happened in '63. Like I said, now this is you notice it's a blonde. And what's really interesting about the blonde? Oh no, it's not a custom prop. This is the real deal. This is an original '63. Just the body has been refinished. Now, what's interesting about blondes back then is if it was blonde, odds are it's an ash body. So this is an ash body. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it's a very thin, you can kind of see it. That's the wood grain showing through it. And one of the things I wanted a 63 that had, you know, obviously as much original as possible on it. And the only thing that's not original on this guitar is the pick guard and the back plate. Of course, those pick guards just never really made it. And the pots aren't, and the switch is a 5-way, which I actually, Gabby found an NOS 63 3-way switch that we're going to put in. I have it. It's right here. Well, it's actually, I remember it's wrapped up. But the frets have a little bit of life left in them, not a lot. Yeah, like I said, I sent it to my buddy Steve, who's gone now, but I just sent him a picture of the neck, and he you know, you see those clay dots, and you know. But like I said, 63 was a lot of like interesting things that were happening. They transitioned from the slab rosewood neck. You know, the rosewood veneer. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's not like a veneer like what you're thinking, like fake wood. It is just a smaller, thinner piece of rosewood. It's not like the big slab boards that was in the 50s. And the early 60s had really small necks. So in 63, the neck kind of goes back out to this medium C. And like I said, we have an NOS 63 switch that we're going to put back into it. We looked at pick guards, but the pick guards are just too expensive, so I'll probably never put an original pick guard on it. Might get original pots for it, though. But it has CTS pots in it and the original tone cap. But we had to, like, really, really research this thing before we bought it. And we learned so many cool things about... so I'm going to do a bunch of videos about it and about, you know, vintage kind of stuff, like how to like tell if the body is it's actually vintage, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this is it. This is the guitar. Like, I've just been super in love with it. Yep, sounds like a Strat. Exactly, just sounds like a Strat. Laminate board, that's what it is, not veneer. When I said veneer, I'm like, that's not right, but I couldn't think of the word. I got it, it got here on Monday. Yeah, I'll give you some direct audio of it, too, in just a minute. But, well, thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, this was the dream guitar. And like I said, it was really hard earlier whenever I was about to get one earlier in the year. And I had to just, like, you know, be an adult and get a computer instead of get the Strat, you know, that I've dreamed of. Because the Strat's what I started on. And, you know, Strat's what made me want to play guitar. I love the Les Pauls and all that other kind of stuff. But a Strat is really where everything started for me. And like I said, to get a 63 that had... So what's also really interesting is the guitar neck has the same birthday as my mother-in-law. My guitar's a year older than her. So and this has the B profile. It's a C profile neck. But if you look at the stamps on a vintage Strat, they go A, B, C, and D. And that is how far the width is. So I believe my neck is 1 5/8. Well, it wasn't the same price, but it just, like I said, the computer took the majority of the money. Yeah, so here's the direct audio for you guys. that's it. Like I said, sorry, my playing is not doing justice to this guitar. I had the tone roll down a little bit. There we go. Actually, that just reminded me of something funny. I just psyched myself out because I've never owned a guitar with 21 frets before, and I didn't even realize it until the other day. I went to play something, and I was like, whoa, there's 21 frets. And it totally threw me off. But sorry, I got distracted there. Any suggestions on where to get a beautiful guitar like that? You just have to do a lot of research, man. I got it from a place out in California, like I said, but we did a lot of research on how to, basically the best way to authenticate a body on a vintage guitar, because you have to remember they put dates on these guitars. There's a date on the inside, but it was just handwritten, and they put it in the back cavity, and they just wrote, it's 463, which anybody can do that. So you have to really, understand how to look for the certain kinds of router marks, and there's a thing called a worm route. There's different nail holes. Lots of stuff you have to learn how to look for on them, and that's what we did. Like I said, we did a lot of research on making sure that we understood what this was. Adam, it's a 63, man. I'd name it Pete. We named it Blondie. That just seemed to work. I was sending pictures of it to my my buddy Jared, who he has a really nice. It's crazy. I think his is a 56 gold top that was painted over red. And I was just sending it to him because that's his dream guitar. And I was like, dude, I got my dream guitar. Oh, Pete. Now it's Blondie. You know what you are. Oh. So this guitar is gonna go into the shop next week sometime and have that 3-way switch, because I was like, even though the 5-way makes more sense, this has a 5-way in it, but it's like they didn't transition over to the 5-way until like 76 or 77. I can't remember the exact year. But one of the things I was Blondie Pete. One of the things I was excited about with this guitar was the fact that I've never had a 3-way switch on a Strat, and I always hear people talk about like the challenge of trying to like get the those wedge positions. To get that position 4 sound, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And when we bought the guitar, the guy didn't list that the switch had been replaced. He listed everything else on it, like every other tiny detail, but he was like, oh, I totally forgot to list that is not original to the guitar. So like I said, we found an original 3-way for it, because it looks as good as Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a blonde Strat. It's the ash bodies were exclusive to the blondes, and the other big thing that we were having trouble with is finding ones that had the original pickups. So like I said, the pickguard's not original, but all the hardware, the tremolo arm, literally the tuners, string tree, everything is original. Even the decal is original on it. Neck plate, I have the serial number on it and all that stuff. But the pickups are original and not rewound. So that's what we kept finding is like it would be like the neck pickup was unoriginal or the middle pickup was unoriginal, and just like different things are like, you know, like they've been rewound and all these different things. I'm like, no, I really want like the three most important things to me were the neck, body, and pickups. I was like, those have to be like original. And this one was, thankfully, you know. And one thing that was kind of cool is if you haven't seen it, basically Jimi Hendrix had the identical guitar to this. If you see his 63 Strat, it's literally everything is exactly the same. You know, it's a blonde rosewood fretboard guitar. Tone right. Yeah, those old pickups. Yeah, I mean they just have a sound to them, which is what I wanted. And what's really funny is so the case is original with it as well, and it just has a smell. It's just really weird, kind of like thing, but like the guitar just has a smell to it and has a feel. What was really, really kind of cool, one of the big things that we were like reading up about these guitars, I have a gate on, but if you listen, I'll turn the gate off. I like the noise, you know, to be honest. It's just I have a gate on here for the P90s, but you can hear super chords aren't that bad. But that we found like that I thought was really cool that made like a vintage Strat even more cool to me is they're like, you know, if you look at an old Strat, they're like nothing will be perfect. They're like there's nothing perfect about it. There's like no straight lines really with it as far as like the routes and all that stuff go. It's because like they were routed out by hand, by people, not by a machine. So nothing is like perfect. Like, and if you look at it, like I said, there's pictures of the inside of my guitar. You can see like lines are crooked and kind of like this way or just like real funky all of a sudden. And there's router marks where they had to start the route, and you have these different router marks that are inside of it. And when they would paint them, they would put these little like tack nails in the body to flip it over, and it's just all these little things. I was like, that's cool, you know. I love all that kind of stuff. I mostly play in second position. Oh no, I'm a neck. So I guess it depends on what. I assume that Hippie, you're talking. You consider this like neck to be position 1. I consider this to be position 5. So I play mostly on the neck. That's what this all is. So that's all neck. I position 4 is one of my favorites. So like I said, it'll be kind of weird to lose that when I go back to the 3-way switch. But I'm interested. I just want the guitar to be kind of the way that it was supposed to be, or as close as I can get it. The only reason why I'm not gonna buy an original pick guard, and I don't know, maybe I would one day, but right now I just don't have an interest in it, because the original pick guards, which are like basically falling apart, they're like almost $2,000 for one of them. I'm like, that's crazy, like to pay that for a piece of plastic. So I don't know if I care as much about that as I care more about the inner working of the guitar being original as possible. But yeah, this is an original finished Strat. So this is a refinished body. Would like the axe without a refinish. Yeah, you know, they you know, I always thought that too. Is what's funny. What's your name? One big guitar god. I always thought that too, and then I watched a video of someone basically explaining why they refinished guitars, and sometimes the paint just did not adhere to the bodies, and it looks awful. It doesn't look cool. Like you think of like an old worn out Strat, like a Sunburst Strat. No, the ones that get refinished are the ones where the paint really gets messed up, where it's like cracking and just like chipping off the guitar. Like I said, the guitar that they showed me, it was a blonde ash-bodied Strat. it did not look good at all. I was like, oh, I totally get it. Like that's not the cool thing where paint's literally just like falling off the guitar. I was like, okay, I kind of get why they refinish them now, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, why would you ever refinish them? Because I look at the old, like I said, the Sunburst Strats, and I'm like, that just looks cool. But it was whenever they were painted like this that they sometimes the paint would just like chip off of it, and it did. It looked really, really bad. So I understood then. I was like, oh, okay, now I see why they refinish these guitars. Like sometimes they're just in too bad a shape that someone wouldn't even want to buy it. So luckily these finish shops get a hold of them and kind of bring them back to life. Tom, yep, original bridge. It's got the big block in here. It's got 5 springs. I have it like decked to the body, so the tremolo doesn't work. The trem arm is in the case. But yeah, I just cared mostly about the body, neck, and pickups. Here we go. There we go. Some really. Bam. Genuine question. Since you know a lot. Okay, I have a genuine question. I'm looking for your question, but I don't see it. Ask that question. Yeah, ask the question. Looks like my first Strat, 1960. Oh yeah, yep. So they're super close, Joe. This is a 63. So they're probably right in that same area. I was waiting on your question, but I didn't see it. I did Little Wing. That was kind of it for my Hendrix. Turn this off. Is that it? I'm forgetting it now. Oh man. I gotta remember now. I don't know that next part. Lace with I'll let it through. Oh yeah. It's similar to it. Yeah, I know Jimmy favored downs a lot. Okay, so I'm very interested in guitars, but literally don't have one. I know this is a lot to ask in this video. Youngblood covers best I've had by Drake. Also, what's the guitar? Okay. Best I've heard by Drake. Also, what's the guitar in that back? Oh, you're fine. That is a Dan Electro guitar, and I haven't heard that song. I can't really play it because of the audio. It would get copyright if I play any kind of audio by someone else other than me playing it. But I would have to, yeah, I definitely have to hear it. Youngblood cover, best I've heard. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do know that's a Dan Electro right here. Sorry, everything's backwards. Yeah, but best thing, man, definitely find a way to get a guitar and just start. It's the best thing ever. Something like that could happen. Whatever it was I just played. See? You never know when you're gonna like kind of stumble upon something. So check it out. Let's see if this turns into something. Then it all starts falling apart. But but that's the thing, You never know when something's gonna happen. Yeah. So. Do you need to start a GoFundMe? No, I would never do that. Started playing 52 and a half, 55. Love it. Still new, but oh, dude, it doesn't. Yeah, like I said, it's just playing and having fun, and it's such an inspiring instrument, you know. You did get pretty good and confident when you started. Also, how consistent were you in practicing and taking it? You get pretty good. I don't think I'm thinking I'm a long shot off from being pretty good. But when I got to where I could confidently, I guess, just play or something like that, I don't really remember. I spent a lot of time practicing. It was basically, once I started playing, that was kind of all that I did. I was pretty heavy into sports when I was in school, and I quit doing all those, and I just wanted to play guitar all the time. And I worked, my whole summer break, 1 year to working for my dad doing construction stuff just so I could buy the Strat, just stuff like that. It just kind of consumed it, and it wasn't really like practice anymore. I just liked playing. It was really fun, and I just remember, like, I really liked things. Like, I remember my guitar teacher showed me, like, the C major scale. I just thought it sounded so cool. I was like, whoa. I was like, I want to be able to do that, that was just cool to me. So I would sit there and I'd be like, okay. And like I said, it wasn't like practice; it was just fun. And and once you get a few songs under your fingers, you're off and running at that point. RC's guitars, one which you got today, and now already want another. I have a problem. You know what? I can honestly say, like, I don't want any more guitars right now. Like, I haven't. I looked at Reverb the other day. I was just looking at stuff because I was just looking at different guitars because of videos I was watching, but no interest in buying anything. Like, this one is kind of this is definitely the last guitar for a very long time. Like we said, I sold the Kotzen Telecaster, and then the Strat was going to be one that we were going to sell, but I just thought it would be better to give it away to you guys versus selling that one. 250M. Now I want an RG450. The Ibanez I've always wanted was an RG550, Joe. Yeah, that Road Flare Red RG550 with a maple neck. Yeah, and how many hands that weapon went through before you? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I think these are the original frets, so they're pretty worn out. Whoever owned this, what's interesting is my Gold Top. It was definitely a guitar used live, and I say whoever played that guitar was a rhythm guitar player. The lower frets are all worn out. Higher frets are fine. They look basically new. So this guitar is the exact opposite. There's quite a bit of life left in these lower frets. Whoever owned this thing was right up here in the area where you don't make any money. Once you play past the 12th fret, that's the joke. You go past this, and the warning sign, 2 dots, like, don't play up here. You know, you're a lead guitar player then. You know, no one cares about you. But these frets are about done. I'm going to have to get it refretted probably within a year or so. But what I thought was kind of cool is, you know, the guitar made its way to me after all these years. I mean, the guitar is, was it 56? Yes, 56 years old. And it's made its way to me. And I'm like, oh, well, like, whoever had it clearly loved it. To play these frets down like this, the thing's been played a lot. And I was like, you know what? It would be kind of cool because I'll be the one to kind of finish off the frets. You know, I'll play it until they're dead. And then I'll refret it and get new frets put in it. And then, you know, the guitar, again, will long outlive me. And hopefully it'll just, you know, keep on going. And, you know, someone else will get it, you know, hopefully. And, you know, like I said, I'll have the frets worn down on it. And, you know, they'll get to finish, you know, couple sets down the road off. And I don't know. It's cool to think about that. Fun seeing you all geek out together. My guitars, high frets are all nice and new. Fun to geek out. Guitarists are definitely geeks. The guitar we've had the longest, my wife's Strat is definitely the one we've had the longest. Nick, I don't have too much history about it, unfortunately. Like I said, we got it from a place that professionally refinishes guitars, and you know, like I said, just like did a bunch of research on it to make sure that what we had was, you know, to our best knowledge, real. So we looked at a lot of things that are, you know, hard to fake. Unfortunately, like I said, you get with the older guitars, they weren't as, you know, like nowadays, like for one, the serial numbers are very thought out the way they work. Like you know, you look at this serial number, and it's a 63. There's literally not a 6 or 3 in here. Like you think of like modern serial numbers, and you're like, oh well, this number means this date. This number means this year. That's not the way these old serial numbers were. And like I said, this one's a pre-L series, so you look at it and you just have like, oh, a 63 is like 95,000 between these numbers. It's really like funny, but they didn't keep records on stuff the way that they do nowadays. So much a jazz guitar. Are you familiar with R&B style? I'm not really. I'm afraid. Fenders went away from hardtail Strat. I don't, you know, because that's like the Friedman I got. I mean, I wanted a hardtail. Yeah, this thing has position 4 and 2 because the switch is not original, so it's a 5-way. But I have an original 3-way that we found, an NOS 63 3-way, that I'm gonna have put back in it. Yeah, if you want to see the neck up close, I don't want to smack it on stuff, but yeah, you can see the back of the neck is, you know, old. No serial number. Serial numbers on the back plate. You can see the patent pending numbers. All the saddles have the patent pending stuff on them. It's a really comfortable neck. Not not too small. Cleaning a guitar that old, like fret DNA and sweat and grime, lighter fluid, lemon oil. You know what? I don't know, to be honest. You know, I've never owned a guitar this old before, so I haven't cleaned it or anything yet. I'm waiting to like research all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's definitely got some bumps and bruises on it, and just different little quirks on it. There was like a line on the fingerboard here, and it was just like some glue or whatever on it, because you can see there was a kind of a gash out of it right here that was filled in. But yeah, you know what, I don't know. You have to watch it, because like I said, it's a very thin nitro on it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. How do I need to hold this? I think you can kind of see it right there. Can you see those dark lines in it? It's really, you can really see it in person. Through the webcam, I don't know about that so much. But that's just, oh, there you go. You can kind of see it there. You can see that those dark lines. That's actually the wood grain shining through. It's a very thin lacquer on it, and that's why they did it. It's like a translucent blonde. Dude, I pull my hair all the time. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. Actually, it's gotten to this is always what happens. So like, I cut my hair near the end of the year, and like I'll get it cut probably like up to here or something like that. It gets too long, and it gets caught in the guitar, and especially if I play like a Les Paul or the Friedman Telly, it gets caught in the pickup selector, and you go to like play, and you're like, bah, bah, and you rip your hair out. We must take care of it. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm getting it cut, and I'll get to shave. It's the end of No Shave November. Watch the Eagles concert on DVD. Got any Eagles hiding inside that guitar? Listen to how like bitey that bridge pickup is. What's interesting is that the tone knobs are wired to the middle and neck pickup. So the bridge pickup has no tone knob. I'm like, that's the one that needs the tone knob. Like, it would be so much better if it had, if I could roll that high end off, but I can't. So I roll the volume down a little bit. Oh wait, I didn't realize that was KB Barbecue. roasted. Yeah, it's just old. It's just lacquer, aged lacquer on it. The nitro or whatever yellows over time, and also just playing in like smoky bars and stuff like that will do it. Like I said, if you look at the Metalhead Hippie, I'll do that here in just a second. Thank you, man. You can see how discolored all the knobs are, the switch, the pickups. Like I said, the pickguard is not original. That's why it looks, pretty newish. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Metalhead Hippie. So shout out to Tone King, push the 100K subscribers. Thanks, bro. He's at he's so close. Yeah, so make sure you go subscribe to my buddy the Tone King. Thank you, Big Red Tower. He's almost at 100,000 subscribers. So make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. Can you play the riff by I don't remember that last part. Janda, thank you so much, man. Got booed off stage. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hey, Simon, what's up, buddy? Simon, will you be at NAMM again this year? That bridge pickup is so bright. Hold on, let me turn this bright switch off on the amp. That's how it goes. Can't remember it. It's something like that. Oh, dude, you still have the audio problem. That is awful, man. I don't know what would be doing that. That's crazy, dude. Simon has this like crazy audio issue happening right now. That is such a bummer, man. Have you figured out any answers at all about it? Guitar Hack, what's up, buddy? Have a great week. Thank you very much, man. just it has the thing, you know. It lived up to all of my expectations. You know, actually, I shouldn't say lived up to it. It surpassed them. Of everything that I thought it would be. It feels like it's finally chill somewhere. Yeah, the chat usually well, for one, we don't put up with someone being dumb. But thankfully, Big Red Tower and sometimes Terry's here, and different guys do a really good job of you know, watching stuff that I can't always see. Motherboard, computer. Oh no, man. Sweeping, please. I don't think I'm warmed up for sweeping, but yeah, would not be a good time for me to be sweeping. How are you still awake? It's I'm here. I'm so tired. It's 3 a.m. here, so. Actually, I have to edit a video before I can go to sleep. So I'll be doing that after the live stream. Dims the brakes. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, make sure you watch with that Wednesday video. That's whenever the official reveal of this guitar will be going out, and I'll have more information about it, and you know, much better video quality. Excuse me, if you want to check that out. But sorry, I was reading the chat. But other than that, guys, have a great night. Thank you to all for hanging out with me, for all the super chats, for just being awesome as always. Big Red Tower, always doing such a great job as a moderator on here. Thank you very much. And in the morning there, wow. He's our old blonded Pete. Oh, man. That's hilarious. RJ live stream yesterday morning. He talked about practicing and getting better at his picking. Nice. RJ is a phenomenal player. I really, really like just how good RJ is. The rest of the wicked. Yeah, right. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna bounce on out of here. Like I said, I gotta edit that video. Oh wait, no. Been lurking most of the time. Take care. Oh, okay. So you were here for a little bit, Mike. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Yeah, no problem at all, dude. Thanks for watching, man. And I'll be seeing you soon, dude. Won't be too long, man. We'll be kicking it in Anaheim. What? So, other than that, guys, have a good rest of your Sunday, and I will see you all later, guys. I hope you all have a rock and roll kind of Sunday. Woo! All right, I think I can officially say that I'm done. Bye, guys. Oh, wait, what is this? Good night. Thank you. Later, guys. That's it.